Well, folks, I have to contain my hype for this one because we have so much to get through. So much stuff happened after the Nintendo Switch 2 Nintendo Direct today that this is going to take me a while to get through. So I hope you strap in. Meanwhile, we are giving away a Nintendo Switch 2. It's through the link down in the description and or the pinned comment. But that's not all, because you know what? We have so much to go through that, hey, I got to give a shout out to today's sponsor. Look, the sponsor of today's video is Dbrand, and there's a funny story here because what they paid us to promote, because, you know, that's how these deals work, right? They give us money, we promote their shit. Here's the funny thing. They created a product called Kill Switch. They made it for Steam Deck back in the day, and the idea was, hey, Steam Deck's like the Switch killer. And you know what? The Kill Switch has now come full circle because there's now like the Kill Switch 2, otherwise known as the Kill Switch for Nintendo Switch 2. And honestly, it looks like a pretty great thing for your Switch 2, a great accessory. You can actually reserve it right now for $3 at dbrand.com/Nintendo Prime. But here's the thing. What the hell does this thing do? You can detach your Joy-Cons with it. It's like compatible with this like dock thingy that has USB-C pass-through that you can still go to your dock, so you can like use it in tabletop mode, and it lets the kickstand work. And it literally claims that anything the Switch 2 can do, this thing can do as well. So apparently limitless? I don't know. That's what they're claiming. And you know what? Dbrand, they like to kick ass and take names and chew bubblegum and all the other memes out there. So, you know what? Why don't you go ahead and check out the Kill Switch for your Nintendo Switch 2 yourself at the link down below. Remember, $3 to get your reservation in right now. And let me tell you, I already put a reservation in. Because you know what? I'd like to see if the Kill Switch can kill the Switch 2. Or maybe it's just killing the Switch 1 for the Switch 2. Oh my gosh, we're killing Switch 1 for Switch 2? I'll take it. Shout out to Dbrand. Again, check out the link down in the description. All right, without further ado, let's get some of the big ticket items out of the way. Switch 2 pre-orders confirmed for April 9th. This is in the United States. It is true that there are some retailers and even Nintendo that you could pre-order like in the UK, but all of my news is going to be more relevant to the US than it is most other territories. Also, we learned the price of the Switch 2. There's two of them. It is $449.99 US. There's a Mario Kart World bundle that is $499, or so $500 basically. So I don't know, guys. That's what the current data is right now. Let's get into our next one here. Jake Randall had this breaking out of corporate Best Buy. Best Buy's official Switch 2 pre-order info has leaked from corporate. The pre-order on April 9th online, so you can only do it online or through the Best Buy mobile app, but stores will open at midnight on June 5th, so you can get your console immediately on launch day. This is the first time they've done this in 6 years, so Best Buy is confirmed to be doing midnight launch. That's huge for me because I actually do have a local Best Buy, so it's most Best Buys you're going to want to call and see if your Best Buy is one of them, if that matters to you. Okay, we're not done yet. You see, with all the news today, we have to get really, really quick on the story, and let's start with the Switch 2 specifications. So this comes right off Nintendo's website. It says these are specifications. You can see the size there and the maximum thickness. But you get into some other things, and you got the approximate weight. The screen size is 7.9 inches. That's what an 8-inch screen is listed as. Color gamut, wide color gamut with LCD screen, 1920 by 1080 resolution, HDR10 support. Variable refresh rate, that's brand new. That was not confirmed in the Direct. So it does have variable refresh rate and up to 120 hertz. Custom processor made by NVIDIA. There's your 256 gigabytes of storage. You can only use micro SD cards, and you have to buy them separately to expand. You have your confirmation on Wi-Fi 6. And then your maximum resolutions, as we know, 4K 60. We're going to see a lot of 4K 60 in some of this news today. 120 FPS as well when in 1080p or 1440p. And so there you go. Please note via HDMI cable and TV mode. In tabletop mode, handheld mode, the max resolution is obviously 1080p, and it does support HDR10. You get the PCMI 1.5 channel, 5.1 channel, I should say, for your audio output. You have your stereo speakers. You have your built-in microphone. You have the power button and volume buttons, two Type 2 USB-C ports. So that's pretty cool. The 4-pole stereo 3.5 millimeter plug. So that's for your headphones and headsets. You got your game card slot, your micro SD card slot, which could, by the way, go up to 2 terabytes of micro SD Express if those exist one day. They don't right now. You got your accelerometer, gyroscope, mouse sensor located in each Joy-Con controller. Brightness sensor is on the console. Your average operating temperature. Your battery, which is bigger, it's about 20% bigger than the Nintendo Switch at 5,220 milliamp hours. And the approximate battery life is from 2 to 6.5 hours, which I find to be pretty acceptable, to be honest. It takes about 3 hours to charge, so they do a slower charging process, which is probably for the better because it's better for the battery to charge slow anyways. So yeah, then you get into some of the retail stuff because we have a Japanese language only system that's cheaper than the system that is actually region free and has all the languages. Why they're doing that, I don't know, but that's what they're doing, and it only applies to Japan. Nowhere else is getting it. This is what you get in the thing, in your box when you buy a Switch 2. That's basically everything. That's really similar to what we got with Nintendo Switch. And then you can see the Mario Kart World Tour and all the items that come with that is basically the same thing. That's that bundle I talked about earlier. And this is obviously the Japanese website being translated here. So that's awesome. And look, the news just keeps going. So let's just get right to the next thing. How about the entire launch lineup? What is it? Well, here's the full list launch lineup over at My Nintendo News. And the launch lineup includes Mario Kart World, Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour, Street Fighter 6, Split Fiction, Hogwarts Legacy, Hitman World of Assassination, Bravely Default Flying Fairy HD Remaster, Yakuza 0 Director's Cut, Deltarune Chapters 1 through 4, Civilization 7, Survival Kids, Cyberpunk 2077 Ultimate Edition, Kinetzugami Path of the Goddess, Puyo Puyo Tetris 2S, Rune Factory Guardians of Azuma, Nobuguna's Ambition Awakening Complete Edition, Fast Fusion, Fortnite, Arcade Archives 2 Ridge Racer, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, and Tears of the Kingdom Switch 2 editions. And then these are the GameCube titles for the Switch Online Pass expansion passes, or what are available at launch, are the Wind Waker, Soul Calibur 2, and F-Zero GX. So those are all the games that aren't like Switch 1 games and stuff that you'll be able to play at launch. Now, we get into some more interesting stuff here in regards to Switch 2 editions of games. So here's where we go. Let's look at Super Mario Party Jamboree, the Switch 2 edition. And this is what you get. All the stuff. You get new modes, mouse controls, players appear within the game via camera play, game share capability. This game runs at 1440p resolution in TV mode. So that's pretty cool. Visually enhanced with improved frame rate. This is what you get if you get this advanced version, or you happen to be an NSO subscriber. They're for free. Now you have the Breath of the Wild. You get the Zelda Notes game-specific service via Nintendo Switch app, improved frame rates and resolution, faster load times, and HDR support. Same here with Tears of the Kingdom. And yeah, this is pretty crazy. Kirby the Forgotten Land has a new story with Star-Crossed World, visually enhanced with improved frame rates. If Pokemon Legends ZA has improved performance with high frame rate and resolution. Later, you're going to find out that it's 4K 60 on Legends ZA. So, same with Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. You see support for mouse controls, enhanced resolution, textures, and load times. Again, it looks like it's 4K 60 in the mode, because if you look here, choose from your two display modes. Quality mode runs at 60 frames per second in 4K. Resolution in TV mode, 1080p in handheld, whereas you have a performance mode at 120 frames per second in 1080p resolution and TV mode, and 720p in handheld mode. So Nintendo's first game officially supporting 120 FPS. So yeah, that is pretty cool. This is just all this very stuff here. How do you purchase your Switch 2 edition? It's right here, Switch 2 edition on the back or bottom. This is one of those cards. They have the physical versions as well. Digital versions, look for the Nintendo Switch 2 edition in the game's title. And yeah, so you have your upgrade packs you can buy, how you can purchase those upgrade packs. So this is actually cool because this is the very first image we have of the UI. And guys, it's the UI. It's Switch. It's Switch. They changed some of the icons on the bottom, but it's Switch. It's the same UI. Whether or not there's themes, they don't tease. But there you go. It literally looks like a Switch UI. So those hoping for a new UI screen, that's not what's happening. Let's have our first look at the eShop here. We actually have a video part of the eShop. Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition here is going to have a Switch 2 version. So that's pretty cool. You have the My Nintendo store where you can buy these packs. Retailers, you can buy them as well. So yeah, and all these upgrades are included if you are already an NSO member. So pretty exciting stuff there overall so far. Nothing too negative, but look, we do have some negatives. I did mention, however, there is a video of the actual eShop, and that's what's available right here. So let's go ahead and open this up, and we're going to, there is no actual volume, so it doesn't matter. This is the eShop. And one thing you'll notice in watching this is it's very snappy. So it has a find game feature. Every week it curates a list of games based on what you've played or what you've played with your friends or what your friends are playing. So you see, like, this is $59.99. You played with a friend once, so they're suggesting that you don't own it. You played with a friend. Hey, maybe you want to own it this time. Mario Wonder, it's Tears of the Kingdom. You played with a friend. I'm not really sure how that works. Maybe you just played their version of the game, like they lended it to you. That could be what that means. So, hey, you played this when it was borrowed. Maybe you want to buy it. You want to go buy it. And this is all running supposedly in real time. So this is the Nintendo Switch 2 eShop. And it's pretty good. This is obviously their game suggestions thing. Dragon Quest, Sonic Shadow Generations, Katamari, Nintendo Switch Sports, Samurai Warriors 5. And then you can see this curated list. It's this week's findings that they do. So that's pretty cool. I really do enjoy that aspect of what they're doing. I think the eShop just looks better, sounds better, everything's good there. We also have some news here on Cyberpunk 2077 Ultimate Edition. It's is launch title for Switch 2, but it's not just that it's a launch title. It's that it's actually going to be on a 64 gigabyte cartridge. So this is where we get that confirmation of 64 gigs. So it says Nintendo Switch 2 owners can purchase the game on launch day in a physical 64 gigabyte game card or digital download from Nintendo eShop for Switch 2. So yeah, we can get into all the images and stuff, but in the end, that's the big news there is the 64 gigabyte carts. That is the largest size we've ever seen. We can skip over that one and get to our next story. And that is the backwards compatibility list for Nintendo Switch 2. So as you scroll down here, there's basically only one game not compatible with Switch 2 currently, and that's Nintendo Labo Toy-Con 4 VR kit, because the literal tablet won't fit in the VR headset. And obviously the controls, if you have Joy-Cons, would be fine, but the tablet itself doesn't fit. So that's the one game that can't be played on Switch 2. The rest of these games require Switch 2 Joy-Con to play, which is obviously Ring Fit Adventure, 1-2 Switch. And even if it takes advantage of like the IR camera or has like accessories, right? They're all going to require the Switch 1 Joy-Cons. But this is where we get this weird compatibility issue. So these are games that start up on the Switch 2, but include some in-game compatibility issues, whatever they might be. Basically a bunch of third-party games. You'll see Alan Wake Remastered. This issue is being investigated, so there's like investigation to some of those issues. And then there's like this giant list of games here with startup issues. These are obviously games that are going to be reliant on third-party partners doing something about. So they're going to have to release patches and stuff for updates for their games. Hopefully they do that to make all them complete. Now, considering there's like 10,000 games, this isn't, the list looks huge, but comparative to like how many games are actually on Switch, it's not that big. But there might be some games that have some compatibility issues at launch. It's just one of those things. Some of it's being investigated why it doesn't work when it should. Others are just going to need game patches. Now, we're going to get into some of the box arts here quick for some of the games, some of the biggest games shown. We also have the Mario Kart World box art. Looks good. I mean, if you see this full official key art already, it's really amazing. There's a lot of characters in this game. And yes, it looks like you could drive as a cow as well. That was in the footage. Pretty cool. And it says, put the pedal to the metal of Mario Kart World, a brand new experience set in a vast interconnected environment. You guys know how this game works at this point. Pretty cool. We have some more box art we want to get to here in Donkey Kong Bonanza box art as well. This one comes out on July 17th. And, we got just more and more box art. We're going to kind of fly through these. We have Silk Song's box art, even though, we still don't have a release date for this game. So why we're looking at the box art for it, I don't really know. But we do have also this Switch 2 Edition box art, and it's kind of ugly. I'm not going to lie. The giant ESRB with all that stuff at the bottom. Kind of ugly with that QR code, but I guess they wanted it to be obvious that this is a Switch 1 game that has a Switch 2 version when it's on store shelves. This will make it stand out compared to like a Switch 2 game. All Switch 2 games have this red cartridge, but this will make it stand out against Switch 2 exclusive games, and it'll also make it stand out from Switch games of the same game. So I guess I get it. I wish they could have did something that wasn't so ugly, but what are you going to do? We have some news here as well on Yakuza 0 Director's Cut, the definitive edition of the critically acclaimed Origin Stories coming to Switch 2 on June 5th. Never before seen cutscenes, red light raid online four player online mode with up to 60 unlockable characters. That's actually a brand new mode in the game. French, Italian, German, and Spanish text with English voiceover. So that's pretty exciting there for Yakuza's first stint on Nintendo Switch 2. All right. Next, there was some Tears of the Kingdom amiibo announced. We actually have 5 announced, and we're going to see 4 of them right here. So we see Tulin, Yunobo, Sidon, Riju. Obviously, these amiibo look utterly fantastic. And as I said, there is one more later. We'll get to it, though, in a bit, because I don't have things in order for some odd reason. But whatever. This is one that's a bit of a bummer. Explore the new system through tech demos, mini games, and quizzes with Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour, a paid downloadable launch title for Nintendo Switch 2. You know, it's a download-only game. It really feels like this should have been packed in. I think that's my biggest gripe with this is Nintendo has this weird thing, even with 1-2 Switch, like they didn't pack it in. Needed to be packed in. It's kind of weird this one isn't. I hope it's really cheap. But, you know, what are we going to do other than move on to our next piece of news? And that is free updates for select Nintendo Switch games. So this is kind of cool that they're going to have some free updates. So it says the free updates improve playability on the Nintendo Switch 2 system and will be released for select Nintendo Switch games. These are free, so you don't got to be an NSO member. You don't got to pay separate for them. By connecting your Nintendo Switch 2 to the internet, you can download free updates that may improve performance and add support for features such as Game Share. So ARMS, Captain Toad, Mario Odyssey, 3D World Bowser's Fury, Clubhouse Games, Link's Awakening, I would suspect hits 60 FPS with this update and doesn't have those hitches. Same with Echoes of Wisdom, Game Builder Garage, U Deluxe, Scarlet and Violet. There it is, the fix for Scarlet and Violet. We were promised. The fix is just get new hardware. So there it is. And then obviously Brain Age there, Big Brain Academy. All right. Next up, we have some information on some of the accessories and compatibility. So you might be able to play GameCube games with the original GameCube controllers because, yes, the Nintendo GameCube controller adapter is compatible with Switch 2. So that's pretty huge. And then they just have some other accessories here. The Nintendo Switch Pro controller can be used by pairing wirelessly to Switch 2, can be charged, so that's fully compatible. Can be, so are all the NSO controllers, but you just can't charge it with the system. That's what it's warning here. Works with compatible games, but it does work with Switch 2. So the NES ones, the SNES, the N64, and the Genesis, those all work. So it's just good to know that all that stuff still works with your system, even if you have to charge it differently. Now here we get into accessories that are official from Nintendo, just kind of taking a deeper dive, looking at them and their prices. So as we scroll down here, we got the Nintendo Switch 2 Pro controller, looking real nice. Look at that. That looks pretty cool. We got the bottom there. We have the backside with the paddles. We have, obviously, the white and the Nintendo logo there. This is looking really, really good. And they're going to be charging $79.99 for this. Includes the USB-C charging cable, and it has the C button as well for the game chat menu. And yeah, you could freely map the GL/GR buttons to whatever you want. So it has HD Rumble 2. That is kind of cool. They don't really give us a lot of information on what it does, but there is a new version of HD Rumble. Motion controls, built-in amiibo functionality, capture button, C button for game chat, audio jack, pull, blah, blah, blah. All right, so we got that. Then we got the Joy-Con controllers. You want a new set of Joy-Cons. That's going to be $89.99. So there's that. Next up, we have the grip, just the Joy-Con charging grip. This one also includes the back paddle buttons. I don't know if you guys know that, but it does include the back paddle buttons, the GL/GR buttons. You have them with your Joy-Cons, but only in the charging grip. And the charging grip is $34.99. Then the straps sold on their own are $12.99, which isn't too bad. The official Mario Kart wheels basically are $20 for a 2-pack, so $10 each essentially. Then the camera is $50, so this is a $50 item. A lot of people are going to be picking up. A lot of people won't even care. Maybe you can end up using third-party cameras as well with it. They didn't really say you couldn't, but that's the official camera. And then getting a brand new dock set is going to be $109, or $110 really. That's about what I expected. It's like $10 more than what it is for Nintendo Switch currently. You have an official case as well with a screen protector that's $34.99. Then you have this case, which I find cool. This is the all-in-one carrying case. To me, that's a really cool carrying case. And yeah, this is an official product from Nintendo. That's going to be $80. If you just want a wall wart with the cable, it's going to be $29.99. And then, yeah, they have obviously micro SD express cards, which are going to be sold by various retailers. They partner with Samsung, but obviously there's other companies besides Samsung making micro SD express. Now, something weird was revealed that, and it's almost like Nintendo left all the news people would overreact to out of the Direct. One of those is a game key card. Wait, what the hell is a game key card? Well, they have it here, and it says Nintendo Switch 2 game key card overview. Game key cards are different from regular game cards because they don't contain the full game data. Instead, the game key card is your key to downloading the full game to your system via the internet. After it's downloaded, you can play the game by inserting game key card into your system and starting it up like a standard physical game card. Here's what the game key card packaging looks like. Very obvious with the the game key card markings at the bottom. How it works, you insert the game key card into the system, you download the game, and then you play the game. But you have to have the key card inserted to play it. So it's like a digital game that you buy a physical thing for. This would enable, by the way, the resale of digital games, which I guess is cool if you go with this key card idea. One thing I want to note about the game key card, because there's been a lot of people mad about it. This game key card thing is literally just like the Nintendo Switch currently. There are a lot of companies, particularly third-party ones, that will sell a physical copy that's literally just a digital code download. That's basically what this is replacing. They're replacing the digital code with a physical cartridge that just has the key for the game in it, and you can resell that key. So it gives you resale value. So it's actually a little bit of a better deal than what some of the current games do. But remember, not every game's going to do this. I think a lot of games are just going to have full physical versions and digital versions. But for the companies that were going to do in the past just as little print-ins with the code, no, now you use these key cards. And honestly, I think it's a better system than on Switch. Obviously, ideally, I would say, hey, don't release a physical version with digital codes. Like, I think that's stupid. But also, if you're going to do it, at least do it better than you did on Switch. And this is technically better because now you can actually resell those keys. So there's that. Now, Mineru's Construct Amiibo will also be released later on. So that's really cool. That's going to be a massive amiibo. So I can't wait for that one. That's why I said there was 5. And now we have this Zelda Notes trailer that we're going to get into. And the reason we're getting into this is because a lot of this was in the Direct, but not all of it. So this is about the Tears of the Kingdom Breath of the Wild stuff and what they're doing, right? So you have HDR support. This is showing the load times, like how much quicker it loads on Switch 2 compared to Switch 1. I think that's a really, really nice comparison right there. Just looking at the two. Pretty insane, the load time comparisons. You have save data transfer as well. They also added in multiple save files. So right here, you can see you have multiple save files, which is cool. Just 2, it looks like. The Zelda Notes app is actually way cooler than you originally thought it was, because, yeah, they announced some cool features with it, like the game hints and all of that, but there's even more. So when they get into this, obviously you have your navigation. They talked about, your game hints and help you navigate and marking things on the map and getting activated voice guidance. That's all, powered through AI, and it is a really, really cool thing. But they also have like stats here, like, you're the 60% of Skyview Towers done, 38% of Shrine. Guys, they created achievements for these games. I don't know if there's a universal achievement system, but they created achievements. And then this is really cool. I want to play the audio on this because they introduced basically, text that used to be in the game, except now through the phone app, you can have fully voice acted stuff. Just take a listen.
I found a silent princess in a corner of this desolate room. How many years?
These are stories that weren't in the original games. Voice memories can be located using navigation.
Your destination is nearby.
The dueling peaks. I shudder to think of what would have happened if Link hadn't led everyone here.
Plus, in The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, you won't just hear stories from Princess Zelda.
This altar is considered the most holy place in the temple.
You can look forward to hearing stories from 2 other characters as well.
Is this the afterlife?
So yeah, as you can see there, they just added some voice acting and stuff to that phone app. Some additional story stuff for Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild. That's pretty cool. And then as we go forward here, you can do item sharing. So you could share items with your friends and basically gift them items from your game, both food items and weapons. And then they have, as we get past the item sharing aspect, it's all done through a QR code and you use the phone app. They have stats, and I thought the stats thing was really cool. You can see, it tells you how long you've played for, how many enemies you defeated, treasure chests opened, materials collected, weapons collected. I think that's really cool. And then here you go with the achievement system: Citizen of Hyrule, the Monster's Bane, the Weapon Collector. This is where I'm in the achievements. I don't know if they're going to expand the achievements to other games, but right now they have added them to the Zelda games, so that's pretty cool. You can see the abilities and how many time you used it, and you can earn names like you're the Ultra Hand Master because you used it 350 times while playing the game. Quests and adventures are cleared. This is all really, really cool stuff that I wish was on Switch, but is right here. And then you can see your daily bonus. You get some stuff. So yeah, they added a lot. They added a lot to this game. And scan compatible amiibo, and there's like a reward if you scan it like 4 or 5 times in a row. 5 times, I believe it is. So that's really cool. We get to use the Amiibo scan twice in one day instead of just once. And then there you go. These are obviously going to be available at launch. So yeah, that's a lot of information that they put out there extra in a trailer. And again, links to all this will be down below. And now next up, we're going to actually take a couple minutes and we'll just watch together parental controls for game chat.
Before younger players start using Game Chat, you'll need to connect your Nintendo Switch Parental Controls app to the Nintendo Switch 2 system. Parents play an important role in younger players' use of online features, so your child can only chat with friends you approve. You can rest assured that your child's use of Game Chat follows your rules. Friends you've approved are managed in a list. You can write a reminder about who the friend is, so you can always know which username matches to which friend. Each time a child wants to turn on their camera for a video chat, you'll need to grant permission. This gives you the opportunity to teach the younger players in your house how to engage safely online. You can set the camera's field of view during video chat using the app too. If you'd rather wait until your child is older to use video chat, you can restrict use using the Game Chat parental controls. It looks like Bowser Jr. got permission, as long as he promises to follow the rules. You can also view your child's chat history. This feature allows you to see who your child has played with and for how long. Please use the Nintendo Switch Parental Controls app to make sure that your child can enjoy Game Chat safely.
So there you go, guys. That's kind of a nice little overview of all of that. I really like. There's actually one more video about the parental app as well that I wanted to show. But maybe I don't have it up here. Maybe I do. Yeah, the parental controls. One thing I like is that Nintendo is doing any of this. This probably won't have too much new, but you can do your play limits, which is something that we've always had the ability to do, at least have for a while. Play limit pass, you can kick people off, you can suspend software. So they just kind of updated this. A lot of this is just like the same stuff we already saw. That's why I'm not going to play the whole video, but I do think it's really, really cool that Nintendo's taking this seriously, and I do think parents need to be better about monitoring what their kids are doing, especially when the internet is involved. Next up, again, news about Pokemon Legends ZA. The Nintendo Switch 2 edition of Pokemon Legends ZA will have a 4K resolution at 60 FPS, and here's some direct feed screenshots. And you got a long press to get the full 4K. So you guys won't get the full 4K in this video, but yeah, it's 4K 60 on Switch 2. That's pretty badass, to be honest. Remember, if you're an NSO member, those upgrades are 100% for free. Also, this is actually some good news because, again, we've had a batch of bad news. We haven't even gotten to the worst of it yet. Screenshots and videos you take on Nintendo Switch 2 will instantly appear on the Nintendo Switch app on your phone. So that's pretty cool. Really easy way to share with multiple social media networks and all that. You don't have to do it through the system, although maybe they still have that as a function. We obviously don't know. Also, this was kind of cool. Yoshi's Woolly World got teased right here. That's what that screenshot is from, Yoshi's Woolly World, which was not announced today. So just an extra game we know coming to Nintendo Switch 2. So that's pretty cool. Now, setting that aside, I want to get into the Bravely Default stuff. So Bravely Default Flying Fairy HD Remastered Street Fighter 6 1 2 Fighters are game keycard products. So this is really unfortunate. These are not actual physical games. You will be downloading them. Kind of sucks. So you can see it right here in the middle. Not a fan of that, but what are you going to do? These companies were already doing stuff like this on Switch, so none of this is surprising. And this last piece of information I just want to talk about, this has to do with game pricing. This is what everyone's actually really mad about today. So Mario Kart World costs $80. It's $30 cheaper if you buy it with the bundle. What's interesting, though, is that while they say $79.99, it actually says MSRP. There was a mention somewhere, and I can't find the exact mention. There was a mention somewhere that physical games might be $10 more expensive than digital, which could make sense. It also pushes more digital sales. I will say if it's $70 digital, $80 physical, that's actually only a difference of $10, and that would be fine. The MSRP is $79.99. MSRP only applies to physical items, so because you're not going to have a suggested retail price to people on an online digital store that you run, right? Like you are the store. That being said, we also know Donkey Kong. That one is Bonanza. The 3D Donkey Kong, which I can't believe that's real. That one is also going to be $70. So there's that. Now, that's kind of it. That's kind of all the news. There's been so much of this. It took a half hour to get through everything. You guys are awesome, amazing, epic. I want to thank you for being here. I'm going to keep a lot of my opinions and thoughts to the actual podcast we have going on tonight. So I'll put a link as well down below to the podcast. And again, shout out to sponsor Dbrand. And you guys are awesome. And we will catch you guys next video.